Hi there. I know I recently deleted a lot of the stuff that was on my channel. That's because I kind of wanted to take the channel in a new direction in the way I had a lot of long videos on there. I want to try and keep them a little bit shorter. Um, I am looking to um, do builds and stuff. So some of the builds might be longer videos because obviously with building it is as long as it takes. I'm just going to check the volume on this, make sure you can hear my voice fine. Yeah, so that's all good. So I do always have the stream playing on a phone in front of me as well, just so that I can see if like sometimes it goes offline or whatever whilst you're in the middle of a stream, and I'd like to be able to see if that happens. But yeah, so it's just me at the minute. Others may well join. But yeah, at the moment I'm just looking at you know just doing some building. So I've chose this area here simply because it's just a really nice piece of land. It seems fairly flat, not too far from water, plenty of enemies, a nice little walk path upwards, and more specifically, this particular campfire, or this particular type that's consistently burning. I love a campfire. I know that you can actually install your own on the game. I am in creative mode at the moment, and so I do know that in the I think it's in the cooking section. You can have this one, which you can place yourself. I mean, I'm pretty sure it looks exactly the same as that one, but just bigger. And you can add stuff to it. I'm sure I've probably even got stuff I could add to it, but yeah, you can add stuff to it and make it burn. But I kind of like the fact that it's burning all the time. So first thing I'm going to need to do is just get rid of these guys. And as I said, I am in creative, so they're not going to fight back, which kind of feels wrong. But this is for the sake of the build as such. So yeah, and I'll just get rid of the bodies. It's really a bit gruesome for a start of a building video, but yeah, so I'll probably just go through it all and yeah. So as I said, I'm going to do some building, and specifically the campfire is kind of where I'm wanting to start with it. So I'm thinking if arena is I like using this stone with the sand bit on it that looks like that, because I think that looks really good on a fire. So what I'm going to do is actually place this so that I feel like it stops right in the center of the build. Don't worry about their sleeping bags, you're not going to be able to see them afterwards anyway. And I do apologise for the sound of the phone. I will change that. Obviously was on loud because, you know, some people message or whatever, and yeah. What I'm also going to do is, I think majoritively I'm probably going to be using arena and probably Nemedian. I do like a bit of Nemedian, so I'll put down a Nemedian slot. And most definitely going to be using the sandstone. So I'm going to pop that slot down. So sandstone is really good for if you're interchanging. I'll be using some Yamatai at some point inside this one. So I'll put down a Yamatai. This is just kind of like so that I can flick between the blocks easier. It just makes it a bit easier to find the different types rather than, as you can see, I'm having to like go up and down on the thing. But this way, I can actually just click between the bits by being on the hammer. I can just say I want to be on the sandstone. I can just hit the sandstone bit and it changes the. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one. So ironically, this now I do need the sandstone. And the reason I want to use the sandstone is I find the sandstone is the easiest set to use to manipulate the sets if you want to manipulate different bits. And with the fire, I do want to do a manipulation. So I'm going to put the sandstone all around the outside. Now you don't have to do it all around the outside. You could just do it on one bit and build up from there. But I'm being lazy and I want to do it all around. That's just how it is. And then I'm just going to go back to here and change it to this. And I'm going to put this block so that it goes just sort of up to the sandstone part. And the reason I'm doing this is I don't want to do all the squares and then come back and do all of the bits. And I want to try and use less foundation. And I know that sounds daft because you've just seen me put loads of foundation down. But what I will do is I will get rid of these parts, and actually I can start doing these as well. So these have the foundation section, but they also have squares that are non-foundational. I'll need to keep one foundation down, but I'll do the first 5, and then once I put the fencing part down, you'll see how I can do the rest. So the fencing is Nemedian, so I'll just click over to Nemedian. So by fencing, I don't mean like the actual fences, which is these two here. I mean the fencing foundation. And I'm just going to pop that across these so that it sits on the bit. And it raises up onto this section. Lovely. I'm going to try and remember which one of these I'd left and didn't put as foundation now. I mean, one could stay as foundation, couldn't it? I mean, to be fair, I can just delete all of them if needs be and put them all back. Yeah, that was the foundation piece. Okay, that's cool. But as you can see, all the fence pieces stayed up, so that's really good. So now I'll change from foundation to them. It's not going to work now. That's all right. I think it had to be in and on for it to be. What a shame. See, the problem is it's going to keep clicking on to that. I was hoping to. I'll do it the quicker way. It's fine. It'll just keep clicking in and on. Although, to be honest, one thing that I am kind of happy about is that happened on the live, because I'm going to put that there so I know that that one's the foundation piece, and then the others are just the outer pieces. That looks quite centered, yeah. Because I do love watching people's build videos, and what I used to find really frustrating when I first started building was how they made it look so easy. And how it was just not so easy, you know. It was very much not an easy task to do. And yeah, I think I'm just going to keep that piece as a foundation piece either way. And if I'm doing that, then this is just about getting the outside parts put down, isn't it? Yeah, that's easier. I love having a little fire pit sort of seating area at most of my builds. It's just, I don't know, something I've always enjoyed. So there are several different bits of like fence foundation you can use from the different ones, and obviously each one has its own unique look as such. That you could use that one if you were going for a more broader kind of look, or you know, there's loads. But for the sake of this one, I'm kind of going Nemedian and Nemedian and Wow, I hate it when I lose where I'm, what am I thinking? Nemedian and Arena. So yeah, we're just kind of going to do it that way. And yeah. And then I'm going to do the triangle pieces. So now what I've got to try and do is make sure the lines, I think I'd have been better doing it crossways, but yeah, I'd have been better doing these ones crossways. This happens a lot. I will do something and then change it, and then do something and then change it again. And it's absolutely fine. This video is just going to be essentially me building this section. I might then do another video where I start like the main build as such. As I said, I am expecting that there will be somebody joining me at some point. It's very rare that I end up building on my own on this game nowadays. And actually, it's been a while since I've actually done a build on this game, but yeah. But if they join, I will just add them to the live. It's absolutely fine. And then for the rounded outside part of this, I am just going to use the medium walls because I just think it would just look like a normal wall with the wooded interior. And every section gets a piece of wall because it just kind of neatly puts it in. And again, it's less foundation, but as you can see, it kind of gives that very nice sort of decked out sort of feel to it, which I think is quite nice. And then what we've got to work out is where do I want the entrance of it to be. So obviously this is to the side of the thing. So I'm thinking I'm going to put the entrance actually around here. Because it just seems like naturally that's where you would have it. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use stairs like this, which would then just lead up, and then when I put the fencing down, it would kind of slope a bit. Now I won't use the fencing for the medium for this, just because it's a nice fencing, but it's just not the look that I'm going for at this point. So I'll either use this one, which is the arena, because it sits quite well with the medium and arena, very much complement each other in the way of building sets. And because I'm going with like a natural wood plant around the edge type thing, I kind of want fences that are going to suit that. So a lot of the ones with like spikes and stuff on I wouldn't use. I wouldn't use insulated wood because it has the big chunk bits of wood. There was one that I wanted to quickly check out, which was this one, because I think this one would look quite nice. This is I believe this is a new one. I believe this is part of the new tower set that's just come out. And I think this would suit quite well. Oh, maybe not on there. But I think that would suit quite well actually instead of this type. Because I feel like it's a nice clean. Let me just make sure they're both pointing outwards. That's it. Yeah, it just gives a nice sort of clean edge to it, doesn't it? And the old fence that you used to have with this building set was also quite a nice fence. But again, it had the spikes and stuff, and that just didn't really feel very clean to me. I am enjoying this new set. It does have a lot of potential with it. Kind of looking forward to the new update when it comes out because that does look like it could have like a lot of potential to it. I want to just see if that works for walking underneath because that's actually quite a nice. See, I do like mixing the different setup and finding what works and what doesn't. I think this one even has the nice posts on its actual stairs, doesn't it? But then that kind of takes away from the arch. Mind we could. Is that this? Oh, that's the big arch, isn't it? I was thinking, why would it allow me to? We could do it without the arms, but I do feel like with the arms it looks slightly better. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the arch, to be honest, because it kind of, I feel like actually if I just use the steps with the rails, and because that would give the archy type. I mean, it obviously doesn't give the over the top part, but it does give a nice sort of end reference to it. So that's quite nice. Um, so yeah, I just want to quickly check inside the bazaar to see what's on offer this week. Oh, spiders! I do love a spider on this game. So spiders are definitely a thing that I'm interested in, but I don't feel like I would get enough use out of that one for the price that they're actually charging. Because that's actually quite a lot. For this, because I wouldn't use these. I would probably only use the actual spider. So I don't think that that's actually quite enough for that. I probably wouldn't use any of those. I already own both of those. Um, this one's intriguing though because it looks like they're saying it's 3,000 reduced down to 1,064. I wonder what the actual reduction is because as you can see, I already own the building set, so it and the flags. So I got the flag because of the black moon there. I do like that. That's quite cool. But this is essentially just these two bits um, for 1,064, which again, considering the whole set was 3,000 and it contains a building set, my question would be how much would they have been charging for those if the whole set wasn't a set? I feel like they've just reduced by a very small amount and they're not really being very honest with that because, as I said, I've already got 4 or 5 pieces of the 7, so I keep looking at this one, and because these things interest me. So like the icebox, I believe you can actually interact with this one and actually keep stuff inside it, which kind of makes it cool and useful at the same time. Um, the outfit is cute. It is cute. It's a nice, sweet little outfit. Not really for combat. It's more for if you're just sort of messing around on the game or whatever. You wouldn't wear it for combat, not unless you used the sorcery to splice it onto, say, a god armor or something like that, because you would definitely get killed wearing that otherwise. Um, the hammock, which I'm not sure if that is actually usable or not. It would be cool if it could be a spawn point, like a bed. I mean, on the picture, they have somebody inside the hammock, so the ideal would be that it would. And the same with this castaway bonfire. Again, my thing would be that it would be a usable fire. So you would have something you can wear, something you can store food in, something you can cook food in, and somewhere to sleep. But I still think 2,128 is just a little bit too steep for what you're actually getting in return for it. I mean, I've bought whole sections of stuff for less. I bought building sets for less than that. So, yeah, I would expect that that would not be the case. I just wanted to look because I do watch building videos on YouTube. There are some phenomenal builders on YouTube. And most of my hints, tips and tricks have come from there. But sometimes they have stuff that I just don't have, and it could be either because I haven't unlocked it. It could be because it's something that you had to buy, or something that you could only find at a certain time, and that you can now no longer get. But yeah, it just definitely seems that kind of seems to be the way. Yeah. So I'm just going through the decorations at the moment. So we will need plants and stuff at some point. Not saying specifically right now, but at some point. But I do like to add a little bit of greenery to the spaces because I feel like the greenery just kind of pretties it up a little bit. Um, so it's definitely something I want to do. I can never really tell if that's actually a good placement or not. So what I'll do is I'll do that and then I'll move it where I can see it, and then kind of can tell that it's a better placement because, although that was awful, wasn't it? It wasn't even. And that's not straight either. But you get the idea. I will straighten it fully at some point, but that's kind of the idea. I put them round on the bits, and then I think the next thing after doing plants, which I can now use that plant to click onto and choose, is seating. And as you can see, I have a lot of seats to choose from. There are a lot of options on this game, and the reason I was checking the thing is because there was a new seat that I saw that one of the ladies had that I don't have. I'm guessing it's either from a previous battle pass or from a previous sale on the shop that I just wasn't part of. I came into Conan quite late. It's been out since the early 2010s, I would say. I think I'm not entirely sure, but I didn't actually join until very recently. So obviously, there's a lot of stuff that has been played previous that I wasn't privy to. These seats are my kind of favourite seats for inside, as I just think they look quite nice and cozy. I think on the picture they don't do them as much justice as what you actually see in front of you. Um, but yeah, and I love using the little bar stools or the little barrel stools. I use them as both tables and seats, which is really nice. I like these little Yamatai floor pillows because I think they look cute in front of a fire um, with a nice rug underneath them. I think that just looks really cute. But whilst outside building this, I have found that I do enjoy using these benches. And the reason I enjoy using these benches is you can get two people on one bench. And when you're sat with your friends and you're just chatting on a voice chat and you just need 5 minutes from not running around, but they're still running around quite happily, you can just come and sit on one of these benches and just chat and sit in front of the fire. It's quite nice and calming and relaxing. But yeah, again, I will probably better position it. But yeah, this would be kind of, and then your second person slots onto that side, and then you can do that. And the reason I like doing this is imagine the whole thing's done up, and you've got your friends sat down around you, and then you go into the night time, and I'll show you the nighttime part. How sweet is that just to be like sitting there chatting away with like the fire in the background, and especially if it's like actually dark on the game, because obviously as you can see on here, it's not got the actual nighttime sky. Funnily enough, you can't actually set it to nighttime. You can only set it to dusk or dawn, um, and dusk is lighter, ever so slightly. Yeah, so dusk is lighter. Did I just get that? No, yeah, dusk is lighter than dawn, and then noon is obviously really super light. So yeah, you can't actually choose to change it to nighttime, but you can get it close to nighttime. And obviously, when I unfreeze it, it cycles into night, and it's quite nice just sitting there, and you've got the stars and stuff like that, and it's just nighttime and stuff. And obviously, because I've built on this section, those two people that were on this section will no longer spawn. So the idea with this would be that I would be doing basically a plant, um, and then a chair, and then a plant, and then a chair, and then you kind of just do that all the way around. But I would do different plants as well. Like it wouldn't be all the same plant. I've just used the same one just as a thing of showing that you can kind of put them down anywhere you like. And as you can see, because I'm putting the chairs on the triangular part, gives a bit more room in between. So you could put the chairs on this part, and then put the plants on the triangle parts. It actually doesn't make too much of a difference space wise. I just feel like it's slightly nicer walkway wise if you do it the opposite way around. I've actually put that through the fence, so obviously that wouldn't be staying like that. But I feel like it's slightly nicer walkway wise having, because you're coming up onto a square, so kind of gives you a bit more room. And as I said, I won't be using that same plant. I also like to use the empty planter, which I think is under crafting stations and then farming. So you can use these two, which are slightly nicer ones, or the really thingier ones, depending on what sort of look you're going for. But obviously where I'm using the other planters, stone is kind of where I'm at. And then what I found you can do with that is you can put down a planter, which just looks like an empty planter, and that's essentially because it is. But if you go on to the plants, and not everybody will have these, but I specifically do, you've got the lavender, which I'm not actually keen on in real life, in the way of I don't like the smell of lavender, but I do like the look of the lavender plant on here. And when you put it on top of the thing, it kind of looks like it fits in. I mean, at the minute it looks like it's floating a little bit, so I will have to like re-look at that a little bit, but it does look like it fits in as such. I think there is a way you can do it where it doesn't look like it's floating. But either way, I think it's just about making sure it's slotted in the right section. Because again, it'll only hit on while it's green, so there, that looks nowhere near better, but you get the idea anyway. So you can do that with the lavender one, and there is also a tree. So there's this tree, which is a new one, which you could actually just put down all on its own. But I feel like I'm going to use that elsewhere. I feel like I've got plans for that within the thing, and it's a fairly new one, that one. And then you've got the lemon tree, which is really quite nice as well. And the lemon tree actually, again, does actually look quite nice inside the plant there. But again, I have other plans for it, so it probably will just be the lavender part that I use for that. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much it for the build. It will just be a case of putting plants around, putting chairs around, and it'll make a nice little sort of area to be at. Probably I will look at ending the live at some point, I think, because what I'll do is I will probably end the live and then finish the actual ins and outs of this, and then I will show you this at the start of the next video, which is where I'll be doing the building. I will keep this tile patch here for when I'm doing the actual build, because it's just good to be able to click on them and move over to the next sort of section. But yeah, this is kind of like how I like to build a campfire as such, and as I said, because I've used a natural occurring campfire in the game, it won't switch off, so it's nice to just have that just burning, sat there with the crackling sounds and stuff like that. It's really good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said, I will show the finished thing when I start the next live video. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.